Greetings, hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, greetings, hi. If not, thank you so much for coming back to the Good Vibes Corner at the foot of my bed. I'm so glad to have you here. For those of you who are new, you also get a greetings, hi. Everybody gets one. Very happy that you are all here. So in today's video, we will be discussing a little bit about self-validation. However, this is going to be broken up into a two-part series. The first part of the series talks about self-validation in relation to external validation, your self-worth and your self-esteem. And the next part, you can watch them independently, but the next part will be about self-validation in relation to your emotions and steps that I've learned in therapy and how to validate certain emotions and work through them and feel your feelings, all that jazz. And I thought they complement each other nicely because many of the themes are the same, but the approaches in those healing steps in that journey are totally different. And I feel like I have a lot of helpful practical advice for you guys, and I hope you love it. So if you do get to the end of the video, please remember to comment your 3 favorite emojis. At this moment, I am vibing with the little tortoise. I love it. So tortoise, 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 if you want to stay on my vibe. But whatever your 3 favorite emojis are, please comment at the end. So, it's important to note that external validation is necessary for a human being's survival. It helps us to feel connected, it helps us to feel less lonely, it helps us to feel supported, like we're not isolated, like we are part of something bigger than ourselves. And we are communal people, we are communal mammals. And part of our ability to thrive and to feel positive and to feel loved and to feel like we belong somewhere, that is essential for our brains to function. It is essential for our survival. And I feel like that is the positive side of external validation. We don't need to demonize looking for outside support and outside encouragement and a thumbs up from those we love, from those around us. That's how we build each other up, and that's how we tend to thrive in the danger comes in when we seek external validation from a place of insecurity. When you are seeking external validation from a place of insecurity, you are saying to everybody, tell me who I am. Tell me what I'm worth. When you seek external validation from a place of insecurity, you are putting your life in the hands of another imperfect human being. You are making others responsible for your confidence, your self-esteem, and your self-worth. This means that when their view of you falters in some way, when other people don't like how you walk, how you talk, how you act, your view of yourself means that it will also fluctuate and falter in the same way. You may not like how you walk, how you talk, how you act based on those fluctuating views coming from external people. And when you do this, you are relinquishing your power and making your self-worth somebody else's responsibility to deal with. You are giving away your power, your ability to control how you at least feel about yourself, and you're putting that in the hands of an imperfect human being who is having the same life experience as you. You validate yourself by doing 2 things. You validate yourself by 1, recognizing your intrinsic self-worth, and 2, releasing insecurity. I'm going to break these both down for you so that you can understand a little bit better. Recognizing your intrinsic self-worth. When you recognize that you are intrinsically worthy, that you have intrinsic self-worth, you are no longer willing to outsource the inner work that you need to do or have done to other people. You are no longer putting the power or responsibility of how you feel about yourself in the hands of other people. Now, intrinsic is really important to understand. So I'm going to read you the definition of intrinsic in intrinsic self-worth. The word intrinsic means belonging to the real nature of a thing, not dependent on external circumstances. It means essential, inherent, natural. Intrinsic means that you are already worthy because you have breath, because you have life. When you have life, I think that all things that have life, people, plants, our animals, everything that has life, nature, is breathing with an intrinsic worthiness because we have life. And I believe that that's come from my relationship with Source, with God. That's how I understand that we are all worthy, no matter what, no matter our circumstances, no matter whether or not the external reflects that. You are worthy without having to be told. You are worthy even if your life doesn't reflect what you think it should reflect. You are worthy. Intrinsic self-worth means that you cannot attach yourself to external things such as your job, where you live, your achievements, your perceived failures, whether or not people congratulate you or support you or encourage you, whether or not those things come, you cannot attach yourself to that as a measure of the fact that you are worthy or not. The reason being is that these things fluctuate. Your job title can change. It can become what you deem as a lesser job title or a higher job title. And that means that if you are attaching yourself to your job title or attaching other people's worth to their job title, you are putting people on a scale of better or worse or less worthy or more worthy based on things that fluctuate. When you tie your self-worth to things that are constantly fluctuating, your perception of yourself is going to constantly fluctuating, resulting in instability, in desperation to hold on to things that you can't hold on to in order to make yourself feel like you are worthy, even though some things you need to let go of. True self-worth cannot fluctuate because it is not a physical thing. True self-worth pays no attention to external factors. For those of you who are biblically inclined, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Before you came here, you were knit in your mother's womb. It was already done. It's inherent because you have life, right? And so this is how I like to frame it. For those of you who are more inclined with a universal truth and connected to source energy, you understand that, as I said earlier, because you have life, because we are all connected, because we are beings having this life experience, we are worthy. True self-worth is motionless. It is never ending. It's a feeling of contentment. It's a feeling of joy and satisfaction. And it honors who you are as your current self. It doesn't ask you to change or alter based on external factors so that you can then deem yourself worthy. And this is how you validate yourself. You understand your intrinsic self-worth, and that results in joy, contentment, satisfaction for the person you are now. Point number 2 is about releasing insecurity. How do we release insecurity? We build our confidence. Now, think of the word confidence. The root part or the root word of the word confidence is to confide. What do you do when you confide in someone? You trust them. You confide in someone you trust. So, confidence means trust. Confidence, to confide, means you have self-trust. And when you have self-trust, you become this person who is no longer insecure because they know that they can trust themselves to build their business. They can trust themselves to exercise when they say they're going to exercise. They can trust themselves to do what they were going to say. They can trust themselves to rest when they know they need to rest. They can trust themselves to speak up for themselves. Confidence means that you have your own back. And having your own back means you are not looking for other people to make you feel secure. It means when other people's moods and thoughts and opinions shift and change, it doesn't affect you in the sense that it doesn't make you insecure about your ability to do things or handle things or have your own experience independent from their experience. You release insecurity when you Take action towards all of your dreams and goals. You release insecurity when you take action to all of your dreams and goals, right? The brain only understands the language of behavior. The language that the brain speaks, it gets evidence of who you say you are from actions, from your behavior, and then it calculates and says, okay, this person says they're this. Where is the evidence? Where can I pick and choose to find the evidence that they are who they say they are, right? I talk a little bit more about this in my other video. It's how to make an identity shift. I will link it up here or in the description below, or both, but that will be really helpful in terms of understanding the language that your brain speaks and how you can leverage that into becoming the person that you say you are. So a few actionable steps that you can take, especially if the last two didn't feel very actionable, in helping yourself to validate yourself and how you show up in the world to speak kindly to yourself, is the following. You need to acknowledge your accomplishments, no matter how small. Now, I know this feels contrary to what I said earlier about not tying your self-worth to external achievement. However, we are in this game where we speak in nuance, so things aren't black and white, and there is this place in the middle where we can meet. When you do accomplish something, you don't need to brush it under the carpet. You don't need to pretend it didn't happen. I really struggle to celebrate my accomplishments as much as I focus on the bad things that have happened to me. And so to validate yourself is to celebrate your accomplishments, especially the ones that other people don't see, especially the ones that don't feel like the world would celebrate. That is how you validate yourself. You choose to see what you struggled with, and then how you turned it around, and how maybe you are reacting differently than you used to in certain situations. And you can celebrate that. You are allowed to say to yourself, wow, that was a great job. The reason this is helpful is so that you do not get addicted to the praise that other people may give you that may be fleeting, to the praise that other people may give you. It can be like, it can be addictive, you know. It's like getting likes on Instagram or getting likes and shares and follows. It may feel like those are important, but what happens when those aren't there? Do your achievements stop being achievements? Do you stop being beautiful? Do you stop feeling good? This is why you need to acknowledge your accomplishments, no matter how small. Next, this one sort of piggybacks off of the previous one, is to give yourself credit when you do something well. You know, I think there comes a point in your life where, especially if you've taken the time and effort to develop your craft or career, or you have a project and you killed it, or anything that happened, when you give yourself credit when you do something well, you are acknowledging the work that you have put in for that thing to have a good outcome. You are acknowledging that, wow, look at what I've produced. I'm no longer necessarily a beginner. Even if you are, acknowledge that, celebrate that when you do something well. Next is to be gentle with yourself when you make a mistake. Again, remember how I was talking about the fact that we are imperfect people. And so when you don't give yourself grace when you make a mistake, you're expecting perfection out of yourself. And that is not self-validating at all. That's not allowing yourself to be a human in this life. You are a human being. You are going to make mistakes, lots of them. And just like you have grace for other people, you need to have grace for yourself. This will really help you in more difficult moments to say, you know what, I messed up and I take accountability for that, but I still love myself nonetheless, because I'm a person and everybody makes mistakes. The next one is to seek out supportive people who will lift you up and not tear you down. You know, we know that you are the people you hang around the most, but when those people lift you up, that ties in to that first point of the positive function of external validation. When you're around people who lift you up, who do validate you, it makes it easier for you to validate yourself even when they're not around, because you know that not only do you support you, but your tight-knit crew, family, friends, chosen family, those are the people that lift you up, and they wouldn't want to see you putting yourself down or tearing yourself down. And in the same way, when they are not around, you can pretend you're them for yourself and give yourself that uplift when you need it. The last one is to practice self-compassion and learn to treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Remember, there's that whole quote, you cannot hate yourself into a person that you love, and it's so true. And I feel like most of you who are here really do already know that you cannot hate yourself into a person you love. Just as you have compassion for those who love in this journey in life, you need to have compassion for yourself. That is the end of this video. I hope this was helpful for you. Remember, we have a part 2 that leans into how we stop outsourcing the responsibility of working on ourselves to other people. Therefore, this applies to our emotions as well. And so the next part of this video is how to validate your emotions step by step, how to validate and feel through your emotions in order to have better mental well-being. So check that one out.